It is the 20th of January 2026. By the way, that means we still have a couple of days to go before we end the year. Yeah, that's 11 days, almost 2 weeks. So not yet for those guys who were praying for the end of January. And if we're just waking up, the sun is already up. It's 8 a.m., but we have 10 or 11 a.m. sunshine, you know? So not done yet. Your 31 days of January are not done yet. So I was told yesterday it's still on point to still wish people Happy New Year because it's still in January. But after February, you're not supposed to do that. But then I was told yesterday by a lawyer friend of mine that for lawyers, it's different. You can do it from January to January. That's the only rule that you don't have to break. But anyways, your Christmas trees now should be down because we are now thinking about how to get done with the year. For those guys who are sticking to resolutions, you know, they're still as fresh as they can be. So please stick to them. Look at them every day in the morning. Let them energize you as you continue with your year. For those of us who have no resolutions, we only have one resolution. Only one. Actually two. I was told yesterday it's just about make money and do not die. Simply that. So let's keep on doing that as well as we chat our way in a 2026. This morning, of course, we dial it down from politics, we dial it down from whatever is happening around us. I mean, we're going to look at exactly what's happening in Uganda and see what Muhoozi is talking about, right? But this morning, we're looking at the fresh youth who are joining university. I mean, it becomes a completely different experience for them. For the very first time, the rules have been relaxed. For the very first time, you have to think about what's going to happen in your career. For the very first time, nobody is going to wake you up. There's no bell to wake you up. There's nobody who's going to tell you you're not supposed to have a phone in school. There's nobody. Your parents are not there. For the very first time, it's going to be optional for you to attend class or not. It's going to be optional for you to do an exam or miss it. I mean, majority of these young minds are then walking into an environment that they have never experienced before. Like I was told yesterday, campus is not high school. For those of us who've gone through it, we know exactly how that is. But this morning, let's talk about that. And the best way for us to talk about that is to talk to faces and individuals who are leaders in campus, for faces and individuals who are already in that system. The best way then to learn about what you're going to expect when you step in campus is to hear it from those who are already there or those who've gone through it. I might be or I might not be at the best place position to tell you exactly what happens in campus. Well, it's been a couple of years since I left it. So probably now it will be the best time for us to speak to those who are in campus and gone through it. And those are the ones who are going to tell you exactly what it is to expect. So take out your pens and papers this morning because we're going to have a heart-to-heart conversation with those who are already in campus. We're going to tell you exactly what you need to do to get ready for that challenge ahead. 4 years, or for some of them 6 years of good times, you know, getting your career and your life ready as you chart your way into proper adulthood. I was told some of them don't even have identity cards. It's when they're preparing to have them, you know. Interesting times, isn't it? So look for that conversation. That's exactly what we're going to talk about this morning. I can already see some of the guests seated in the studio this morning. I'm going to introduce them when that time comes so that we settle into that proper conversation this morning. This is Look Up TV. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kage. For the parents who are also waiting to hear what their kids need to prep themselves with, I mean, no better way than to learn that other than listen to it from the other kids or students who are already in campus as well. The hashtag is The Morning Drift. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kage. Get your questions and contributions coming in. Our WhatsApp line is right there on your screen. For now, I want us to take a look at exactly what it is you're waking up to this morning on your dailies. And as usual, we're going to begin with the Daily Nation this morning. See exactly what is there as well. It is called executive impunity. That is the big headline right here on your Daily Nation this morning. And those who have been earmarked, it's a tough morning this morning. I keep on losing my pronunciation. Still early. I'm going to get it. We have Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, Environment CS, Deborah Baraza, Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Badi, Interior PS, Raymond Omolo, Defense PS Patrick Mariru. We have KRA Commissioner General Humphrey Watanga, KRA Customs Commissioner Lillian Nyandua, NEMA Director General Mamo Boru, DIG of Police Gilbert Masengeli, and Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja. This is why there are earmarked at the faces of executive impunity this morning, because President Ruto promised his administration would comply with court orders, vowing a break from his predecessor's rule, but his government now stands accused of violating judicial decrees with petitions targeting defiant ministers. The president has previously waged a war against the judiciary, while state officials continue to disregard court orders. That story has been covered on page 4 and 5. And by the way, we did talk about this story just a couple of days ago, the rice scandal. I mean, the court order say that that consignment of rice was not supposed to enter the country. But then some officials within KRA and also Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Badi, they overlooked those court orders, and that contingent arrived in the country. That's why the majority of this have been earmarked here. Some of them are here for other reasons, like Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, also Environment CS Deborah Baraza. They're here for different reasons. But as it stands, during Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, we did see a lot of these stories. I mean, government officials who couldn't listen to the courts. It stands as if this is following President Ruto's administration, because this have been earmarked as those top officials in the government who do not give an ear to the court decrees. That story has been covered on page 4 and 5 this morning. There is a shaman cover bias hits patients. It's a story that we're even having a conversation about here in the morning with some of our staff members. What's the story talking about? It's a story that is covered on page 2. Interference by powerful figures in the Social Health Authority, that's the SHA allocation packages, has led to preferential treatment for certain Kenyans, creating a growing discrepancy in healthcare access. The nation has established that many patients, particularly those without connections to influential figures, find themselves disadvantaged, receiving lower package approvals compared to those who can make a phone call and secure higher authorization. That story has been covered on page 2. It's not new. I mean, this headline here is not new. You can't look at it and then say, no, we've not experienced it. Because over time you hear conversations about how some Kenyans have gone to hospital and they've acquired a higher funding. Some of them have gone to hospital and they've not acquired the funding that some Kenyans are getting. Or some hospitals will tell you we do not use SHA. Some of them will tell you we use SHA. So you have to really, be crafty whenever you're going to hospitals, if you're going to run on this government funding scheme, SHA, for your treatment. And SHA has always been in the headlines since last year. In fact, since its introduction. Even the CS, John Badi, was on record saying, that's Treasury, was on record saying just the other day ago saying that it's not perfect. It's had these challenges and they're trying to solve it. Even the CS Health also has come out to say, I mean, yes, we have challenges with SHA, but it is a work in progress. But are the challenges so much to the point that it's now becoming defective? So the questions that you have to ask, I mean, when you're introducing something new, you don't expect that it's going to run 100%, But when the challenges overwhelm the function, is it not time for you to go back and say, maybe we need to go back to the drawing board? Talk to us at Lookup TV across all your social media platforms. This story has been covered on page 2. There's a story here on page 6 on Gachagua Party on its pursuing coalition pact with Uhuru Kenyatta. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua Party has ratified a plan for this year's activities, including forging a partnership with former President Uhuru Kenyatta. That story has been covered on page 6 of the Daily Nation as well. Good. Those are the top stories right here on the Daily Nation. Want to grab a copy, then you know exactly what it is that you're walking into. And majority of these stories, like I've said, have also been covered on our social media platforms. That is at Lookup TV across all of them. Like I say, a like, a subscription, a share is the only thing that we do ask once you land on our social media pages. On that note, let's cross over to the Standard this morning. Look at what they have. It's another corruption story, or it's a story that is touching on top officials in the country. It's talking about Gevi, EACC, and NYS. That's the story here. Now, a fresh 6.2 billion NYS payout has reopened one of Kenya's most enduring corruption riddles and placed the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission in the dock. Court filings seen by the Standard show the EACC once helped clear most of the very claims it now calls fictitious before rushing to court to stop payment. At the center is Ben Gevi Wangui, a convicted forger, acquitted NYS suspect and self-declared billionaire, long named in parliamentary probes as the operational brain behind the looting of public funds. As the state waves, billions hang in balance and accountability once again slips away. By the way, did you see the images of this gentleman going to EACC for questioning? He was smiling, you know, with his friends, walking to EACC. It is the only country that once you're indicted in corruption charges, you become happy, because you know you're making your way out of it. How many corruption cases do you know that EACC has really fought in court and won? Can you name them? I mean, NYS has always been in our headlines. Now this man is back at it again. Yeah, Ben, famously known by that. Go watch those images just from last week. I think on Thursday or Wednesday, you will see him being escorted to EACC for questioning. He was smiling, dressed eloquently, you know, opening the doors, marching with confidence. Yeah? It's a story that you have to read. It's been covered on page 4. But it doesn't paint the country in good image, does it? You know? Gevi, EACC, and NYS. That story, you can also find it on social media platforms. Just highlights of it so that you know exactly what it is that you're waking up to this morning. Fantastic. On that note, then let's cross over this morning and see what it is that you're waking up to in terms of your trends. There's just a lot that is happening across the country. But I will beg this morning that we start with what is going on in Uganda, all right? We do know very well that, in fact, let's begin with Ruto in Kasarani yesterday. There's a lot of conversations around the Nyota disbursement, but you can see this, the president was arriving yesterday at Nyayo Stadium, Kasarani. Majority of youth were receiving between 22,000 to 50,000 shillings to start their businesses. And the big revelation here is that this is, okay, let's talk about it once we see this gentleman, or the president, sorry, arriving at Nyayo yesterday to award monies that are meant to help youth in the country start businesses. Let's take a look at these greetings. But if you can listen to it, there's a couple of things that he said that I would like us to talk about once we watch this clip. Let's watch it. Well, the questions the majority of Kenyans are asking, I mean, in Bidley, other than the long line of handshakes that the president had to do before he went to sit down, it's the relevance of these ceremonies. So Nyota is done, is you register. Once you register and you're pre-qualified then to receive this money, the money just comes to your phone, right? But since the year started, I mean, the president has been all over, right? Been in all the way to Northeastern, Central, now Nairobi. He could be making his way to Nyanza now for the same exercise. But the question is, does he have to hold these gatherings where hata watoto wanakatalia president kwa mkono for these monies to be disbursed? Because once you're pre-qualified, then the only thing that you need to receive is a message to your phone. Do we need this vuvuzela readed ceremonies for those monies to be disbanded? That's the question the majority of Kenyans are asking. Not me, because I'm just doing a summary of those comments. In fact, if you want me to jump into them, I could jump into them right now. Let me just look at a couple of them. Salima Matando this morning was saying, hii kitu inaitwa Nyota imekuexcite sana, speaking to the president. Once they finish, sit down and do your math. Remember, we are still waiting for another 25,000 shillings. All this economic stimulus fund from World Bank, right? Yesterday, the ministry also did announce the exercise that was taking place there. Let me just also read it for you to see exactly what Kenyans are talking about here. As one was saying, he cannot see how dirty and untidy the environment is. Why not just disburse the cash to the beneficiaries? Must millions of shillings be spent to hold these meetings for political expediency? That's the question that's being asked here. Will it downgrade the president if another national or county leader can be delegated to do this as he does other things? So Kenyans were questioning. Firstborn, who's asking, is Nyota a World Bank debt? Dunham, who's saying, blowing vuvuzelas for re-election doesn't equate empowerment. This is stupidity with all its form and behavior. Si yote bwana. I mean, kama mtu amepata 50,000 bwana, hata kama ni loan tutalipa. Akianza hiyo business, si vuvuzela tu ndio tunaangalia. Unajua. Anyway, the last one here is Ken, who's saying, if all this is used correctly, then everything will be fine. I do agree as well. So once you receive the money, I mean, let's talk about it. If you can use it for that business, then, I mean, nobody's going to complain or talk about it, isn't it? Let's then quickly jump into the next trend this morning before we jump into our conversation. And this comes all the way from Uganda. I mean, Muhoozi has been speaking, and is speaking directly to Ugandans who are questioning the re-election of his father, Nadim Museveni, for the 7th term in office. And when I say 7th, it is the 7th successive term, right? Since 1940s. Oof. All right, let's take a look at it this morning. I'm just going to read a couple of his tweets. Usang Muhoozi, all right, here it is. Saying this morning, we will kill on sight all NUP so-called foot soldiers until Muzee says otherwise, all right? Came back after that and said, we have killed 22 NUP terrorists since last week. I'm praying the 23rd is Kabobi. Goes on to say, I, Muhoozi, all right, I'm a prophet of the Almighty God. I told you all that Muzee would win by the biggest percentage since 1996, and it happened. Now I tell you that NUP will be removed and extinguished from our land like a bad dream, right? He's a man who's talking bila speed governor, if you don't know what a speed governor is, all right? Let me see how some Ugandans and local Kenyans are reacting to this, all right? Carol Prim, who's saying, only God can save this country. All right? Jim Sentogo, who's saying, just a matter of time for you as well. Just a matter of time. All right. Nelly was saying this morning, I thought you guys were past this level. He's been tweeting this, that word that starts with a B and ends with a T. Since I knew him from this platform, why take him seriously now? I'm not from Uganda, but this is a Kenyan, Martin Oyo, who's saying, I'm not from Uganda, but is it normal for the head of the military to say these things? I'm shocked beyond words. Oyo, I'm also shocked, man. All right, Ronald was saying, but I think his post a just diversion of the public from the elections. Finally, then, we do have Thomas who's saying, why do you have to screenshot this and share with the public? Many Ugandans have blocked this account. What we do know is some of the presidential candidates have also rushed to court to petition the results of the election and the way that the elections were conducted. Majority of those complaints about the shutdown of the internet across the country and also the legitimacy of the re-election of one president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the 7th successful term since 1990s. How old were you in 1996? So Uganda has only had one president since then. And for the next couple of years, again, there will be with one Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as their president. But that's how it stands. All right, let's then cross over and look at another issue this morning. Now this one, again, is not good news. It's an accident that happened along the Gilgil-Nairobi-Nakuru highway involving a matatu and a trailer. At least 3 deaths are suspected. That's from yesterday. And several passengers are believed to be trapped inside the wreckage. That's as of yesterday. The rescue mission was completed. And what we do know, about 4 people lost their lives. Let's take a look at how grisly this accident was, and you can see this is the matatu that is trapped inside, just the underside, that lorry that fell on top of it. Let's take a look at that video. It's not good news, especially on that road that the government plans to dual, if you do remember. Ochamu saying, how many more deaths before we dual our major highways? Okay, can we have affordable roads instead of houses? Bwana, I do agree. But you do know their plans then to dual this particular route. We have even predetermined the number of deaths. This is Evans who's saying that. The most traumatizing video I've seen this year. Crashes are very much avoidable. They are if you drive with proper safety. Kimani was saying the lorry rammed into 3 matatus. 1 Great Rift Shuttle, high roof. Najil Kisi Matatu that operates between Nakuru Town and Gilgil. 1 life was lost. 3 the 3NTO shuttle that crashed completely, reported majority of the fatalities. At least 7 succumbed to injuries. These unconfirmed reports. What we had as of last evening was that there were 4 that were confirmed dead from this one. All right, this is a sensei who's speaking to the Kenya Motorists Association, who's saying, you shamelessly oppose the dueling of this stretch, hide your crocodile tears. Tomorrow you will wake up and say the accident was fabricated to justify tolling. How many more lives? Good. We move away from that and look at the last one this morning. It's a bizarre one where this we got it from TikTok yesterday, for those guys who who are TikTokers. A man apparently set ablaze his parents' home in Thuguma area, Nyeri County, after his mother refused to give him 100 shillings. So a fantastic mansion, bungalow, was set on fire. Let's look at these images and then come see exactly what Kenyans are saying. Unachoma nyumba juu ya 100 bwana. Nyumba mzima imeenda chini juu ya 100 bob. I see majority of Kenyans who are saying we need to hear his side of the story. Me too. I like to hear his side of the story. Sasa imagine familia italala nje juu ya shilingi 100. You're starting afresh. Apparently the man was 40 years old. Let me just look at a couple of responses here from Kenyans. All right, here we go. Let me just open this one so we can talk about it as well. All right, Magikuyu was saying, Manbugwa was saying, I don't know the whole story, but I blame the mother. Mrima mothers have a tendency of entertaining nonsense from one child while the rest go out to hustle for their future. This one child is kept like a pet. I stopped blaming alcohol after looking keenly into these issues. That's a strong verdict, bwana. That you blame the mother. Now we just hear story. Ai, Mbugwa, wongo bwana. All right. Let me just read one. This is a big loss to the family. Indeed, it's a big loss to the family. All right. Kikuyu families have that one uncle, brother, cousin, ulevi. When you visit home, anawaibia ama anaibia your mom, shosh, mkiacha kitu, rehab, amengia in and out countless times. Your best option is to have them banned from that location by wazee and community, or would it end like this? I mean, it's not just Kikuyus. Don't make this a family matter. Sorry, a tribal issue. It's well, each family, I mean, can have a member who's like this, right? Eti ukizoea kuita mtoto kababa. Ona sasa kababa amechoma nyumba juu ya 100. All right, Kili boss, that's it. We're going to leave it here this morning. We're so sorry for the family. If indeed this is exactly what happened, then I'm really sorry to the family members this morning for losing that. I mean, it's a big case. It's a big loss when you look at it from whatever perspective that you want to look at it from. Good. This morning then, what we're talking about is, we do know that university students are back to school this year, but then there are new faces that are joining them as we currently speak. Freshers, for the very first time, you're going to walk into university. What is that you expect? What is it that you don't know? Some things that your parents will never let you know. Some things that your friends will never let you know. So this morning then, let's dial it back and look at what you do expect when you walk into campus. All right? We're calling it this morning Campus Unfiltered. What freshers learn too late. Let's teach you this morning, then before you walk into that campus. Our guests are finally in the studio this morning. I'm going to introduce them once we come from this break. And after that, get into this conversation. Have any other question at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. The hashtag is The Morning Drifter. See you on the other side of this tiny little break.
Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Look Up, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza liko na ria wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hao sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi mazuri.
Mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
called the doctor telling me that day. He said, Sarah, I'm sorry about what happened to you, but you see, life happens. You would have to learn to work with your hands, depend on your hands more.
And today, if you're going through anything that you do not understand, just call on this name, Jesus, and he will save you.
I realized I loved music when I was about 7 or 8. I used to puff my cheeks and play the 12-bar blues. Like I'd walk around the house doing like...
Why do we need the Holy Spirit?
I mean, if you look at what Jesus said when he was leaving, he said he is going and that he will send the Holy Spirit as our helper.
So God knows everything since the end, from the beginning, has a plan for your life. So to find that plan for your life, you must find God. When you find God, you will know the path for your life.
Save a Life is a non-profit organization that has taken the front line in transforming lives in the entire country. So far, we have transformed life of over 100,000 people through our programs, which include medical support, youth empowerment, street family program, feeding program, and climate change. Join us today as we transform lives. As we always say, service to humanity is service to God. Save a life, transforming lives.
Oh, welcome back. You know what? I do remember when I first went to campus. My expectations were off the roof, you know? I finally felt that it was time for my freedom. I had my own house. I could cook my own food. I could decide what to eat. I could decide what time to sleep. In fact, one of my biggest anticipations was that I could actually sleep watching a movie and wake up watching a movie. That was my biggest anticipation. So I got a laptop, you know, and back then you would go buy movies from shops. That business is dead. And after 3 days, I realized that's the most boring lifestyle on the face of the planet. But then my biggest unlearning was when I walked into class for my first lecture. And I remember it was at 7 p.m., one common course. I sat in class, and so the lecturer asked one student to give an example of the topic that we were having in class. So I'm seated at the front, and back here, I hear the student say, in fact, my husband. I looked back, I said, wait a minute, my husband? That's when I realized, oh, wait a minute, you are in campus. You're no longer in high school. So even the people that I was learning with are people with families, guys who would come from jobs and come to class. So I was expected to, you know, act in a certain way, relate with them in a certain way. I had to start learning and unlearning. The biggest shocker being that one time when I was getting out of class, I realized majority of my classmates were walking to their parking lots to drive cars home. That's when I realized I'm in a different environment. So my priorities are gonna change immediately. This is not the life of freedom that I wanted. In fact, I was a bit stressed. I was like, when am I gonna drive my next car? When am I gonna have a job? So my priorities changed immediately. So for all the freshers who are going to school this year, let me say correctly, we're going to campus this year, we're going to teach you some of the things that you have to unlearn and relearn, because that environment you're walking into is not your mom's house, it's not your high school, it's a completely different environment. It's a good thing this morning I have those faces and student leaders who are in campus this morning. We're going to take us through that crash course. So take out your pens and papers, because we are going to give you proper wisdom this morning. Joining us this morning, we have Rejoice Mudeu, who's a student leader and mental health advocate. Rejoice, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Happy to have you around.
Thank you for having me, Simba.
I was telling you, your name is a unique name, Rejoice.
Yes.
All right? Hopefully this morning, they're going to rejoice once they hear the wisdom you're going to give them, isn't it? Also joining her this morning, we do have Robert Ogire, who's an SG Emeritus, UON, Faculty of Science and Technology. Mr. Ogire, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Happy to have you around.
Thank you for welcoming me to this show, Simba. I welcome it.
Your title is heavy, bro. SG Emeritus.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Okay, let's talk about it then. I'm going to start with you, Rejoice. I know you have the scope of a conversation this morning. You've gone through it. It's a walk in the park. But I'll start with a personal experience. The first day you walked into campus from high school, I mean, you transitioned from high school into campus. For you, what was your biggest shocker? That's first time that you went in campus. I mean, that first week you were in campus. What would you say was your biggest unlearning moment or your biggest shocker? Like, ooh, now this is campus.
For me, is the amount of freedom there, first of all. And then, of course, a lot of the population. I mean, it's not like high school where you can literally remember your classmates, you know?
Yes.
The population, you find like a hall carrying, you know, like over even a 500 students.
Yes.
You know, especially for the common units. So the population was a great shocker. Also, the different kind of backgrounds that people, you know, come from. You find like some people, like, you can clearly see that somebody is coming from the village, from how they dress. Another is coming from the city. Another is coming, you know, just maybe relocated from abroad. So the diverse kind of backgrounds that people really come from. And then the unique thing, how everyone there is the same. You know, like myself, I was coming from a national school. And you know, at high school, there's this class, you know. I come from a national school. This one comes from this, you know, a county school. We even labeled, you know, there was this label. It was a joke, you know. Chicken schools versus, that was his high school. You know, but when you go to campus, it's no longer there. As long as you got your grade, it doesn't matter where you come. You come from group of schools, you come from national schools, you come from the village schools, you're all equal, you're treated equal.
Yes.
That was a great shocker because, you know, used to, you know, I'm from a national school, you know. No, it didn't matter in campus. What mattered is that everyone got the grade there.
Yes.
Now, well, you know, like when you in high school, I remember when you went for this, we call them functions. You know, you'd find like Choxerians, for example, like Choxerians, Chox is Limurugas, for example. Choxerians only interact with, you know, like boys from Busharians. Bush was an alliance.
That's it.
And now you go to this environment where everyone is equal. You don't know who's a Busharian, you don't know who's a Choxerian, you don't know who's who. Yeah, so that was a great shocker for me.
That's it.
Yeah.
So hold on, just before I cross over to Gire as well, how long did it take you to settle in campus and you know, and feel the environment and be part of that ecosystem? How long did it take you?
For me, to be honest, it took a whole year. But the good, it took a whole year. That was
my God, Rejoice.
It was not first year.
What? That's a long period of learning.
Yes, it was long. Yeah. But the good thing about me, I'm big on, you know, multitasking.
That's it.
Like I could still really focus on my education while still adjusting. Like I did not like get stuck on the adjusting. So in as much as it took a whole year, I was very focused on what really matters, like academics, like attending classes, you know, getting the good grades. So for me, I'm big on multitasking. I think ladies, you say that we are most of us.
That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I'll be coming out to the specific lessons that I want to hear from you this morning. Okay, you as well, man. I mean, what was your biggest unlearning moment, or what was your biggest shocker when you joined campus?
The first thing when we joined campus, the biggest shocker was the lifestyle, social lifestyle, and social background.
Yes.
Then campus, when we joined campus, we had to realize that here, it's not like high school where life is equal. Life is not equal in campus. You will find some people come from the different backgrounds, the middle class, the low class, and the other class of people. And for example, by that time, you know, people were the distinctive feature for all students there, or most of the time it was background. Yes. You won't find someone from a low class family catching up with the people from the bush areas. For example, Mudeo has talked about it. You will find yourself in an hostel, and your roommate is a guy who was from Alliance High School, and you are from some school, you know. That's it. So it's like even affording, maybe, for example, those people, boys most of the time. Yes. Let's talk of male gender. You know, male gender, when a parent takes you to campus, that's the last day you will see any kind of help. And you're like, how will I help myself in this kind of manner? That's it. And the only option you remain with is to attend classes. Yes. And get back to the hostels.
How long did it take you to adjust, Ogere?
Myself, it took me the whole semester to adjust.
That's an entire semester.
The whole semester to adjust.
That's about 4 months, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yes.
And you're like, you have those kind of, the lectures you came in campus, and you got the lectures from the parents that when you go to campus, don't do this and this and this. And when you reach campus, you find different thing.
It's like, the complete opposite of what the parents were telling you, isn't it? Yes. And
that pressure, you fail to distinguish which one should I do and which one should I live with. Yes. So you know, you find those things that you were told back at home, they're totally different and kind of stereotype mindset. Yes. And you have to adjust with the life that you've got here. Yes. And in that, in campus, it's not like in high school where you have someone who is always like a parent to you. There you are like a parent and you are the student at the same time.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
Good. All right, Joyce, let's jump into it then. I mean, from a mental health perspective, this culture shocks are what majority of these freshmen are going to experience, probably, like you've said, in the first year, for you in the first semester. I mean, it's a complete culture shock. Because I want to put myself in the same shoes, because for me, I also went through that culture shock. Walked into a completely different environment from what I had in mind. For you now, from a mental health perspective, did it stress you a little bit during that period that you're trying to adjust? And what are some of the things that you did, all right, to help you adjust a bit quicker? I mean, it took you 1 year. You can actually also even tell us some of the mistakes that you made, that it took you 1 year.
You know, actually, the stress in adjusting in campus, it's not just a little, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, a little, that's understatement. Yes. It's a lot. You know, from your finances to your food, you know, sometimes you just sleep and you're thinking, oh, maybe there'll be a bell for breakfast. And you're like, I'm actually, it's lunchtime, you've not had your breakfast, you know? Yes. You know, you've not adjusted so many things, including how to take care of yourself, because you're used to being taken care of. You know, there's a bell for breakfast, there's a bell for tea break, there's a bell for lunch, there's a bell for dinner. Yeah. In campus, there's not that. So the first responsibility is towards yourself, and that can be quite stressful. And you know, even for the boy child who did not know how to cook. Now, what are they cooking now? You know. Yes. So I think it's in terms of taking care of yourself is better for the girl child. Now, from the position of a mental health advocate, you know, later on when I was elected as a student leader in Masoni University, the reason as to why I became a mental health advocate. Remember, it's not by training. It's something that I just you know, tried to study just to help my campus fraternity. That's it. Because I realized that the mental health crisis was too much, and it went beyond, you know, even to the extent of people committing suicide. We had a lot of suicidal cases at the university. Yeah. You've had like a first year left the girlfriend, I don't know, they stabbed who, somebody hanged themselves in the room because things did not work out. So for me, it really traumatized me, especially now when I became a student leader and learned about all these cases, what was happening. That, you know, instead of us adding funds, you know, for maybe entertainment to the students or other activities, we were adding welfare funds to actually go to burials of students who have committed suicide. And there was a time in the whole country, in the universities, where suicidal cases were so many.
That's it.
And that is when I decided to, you know, we have to do a mental health awareness. And I became a fierce advocate of mental health among the university students. And therefore, I know for those that are listening to us, including parents and comrades, you know, the students, I want to tell them that it can really get serious. Some of these small, you know, stresses. It can get serious and extreme. So they're not to be ignored. You as a comrade, when you see signals, you know, like you're staying a whole day, you don't even remember to cook or to eat. You know, every time you're just feeling exhaustion. You know, you've isolated yourself, you know, isolation.
That's it.
You're missing your classes, you know. You seem to be in a dilemma and confused. Do not ignore. Those are some of signals of a mental health crisis or challenges. You know, everything begins, you know, small until it becomes uncontrollable.
That's it.
And so to every parent listening to me, because fortunately or unfortunately, some of these cases, you'll find that a student is calling their parents or their relatives, that, you know what, I'm passing through this. And sometimes, unfortunately, they'll be ignored. You know, you'll just adjust. It's just part of life.
That's it, mapema.
You know, wewe ni mwanaume.
Utazoea.
Kwanza boy child. And here I'm also speaking for the boy child especially. Wewe ni mwanaume, jikaze ki mwanaume. No, actually, as a mental health advocate, I wish to advise the parents, do not ignore those calls. When your child tells you, remember, even if they're adults, they're young adults, they're still your child, right? When they tell you, when they alert you about what they're facing, please take initiative of, you know, helping them through, advise them, follow up, you know, walk with them the journey, you know, because at least in mental health we say that it is okay not to be okay. However, it is not okay to just say not being okay and, you know, not doing anything about it. So when someone gives you a call, even in campus, like your classmate approaches you, like, you know, I'm passing through this. You know, I'm going through this at home. You know, I'm going through this. Please do not ignore them. Remember, the first step in healing, you know, from a mental health perspective, it's coming out of the silence, you know, because we say that healing begins where silence ends. So encourage the talking. Yeah.
That's it. Just before I cross over to Ogiri as well, the first shocker that the freshmen are going to face is when they meet their roommates, all hostel mates, where you find that you might be in a hostel where there's a fourth year here, there's a third year here, and there you are first year in that hostel. How do you start relating with your roommates from the first day onwards when you're quite new? Because some of the practices they may be carrying out are very, very new to you. How did you relate with your roommates?
Well, I was in Maseno University. Now, in Maseno University, most first years are priority to occupy the school hostels is given to the first years. I see. Not the other cohorts.
Yes.
And so I got a first year roommate.
Okay.
And she was the best. Shout out to her. She was the best.
The Joyce, you're a bit lucky, isn't it?
I was lucky. I got a very, for me, she was like a sister.
Yes.
Shout out to her, baby. Today, I still, when I remember my days, I still thank her for how she was a good roommate. I also was lucky. I got a hostel which had only 2 of us. So, I mean, it was not overwhelming.
So it was a bit to relate to one another, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the 2 of you.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
However, there are those that got up to 6.
I know. Some of them up to 8. I remember my college days. I got a room where we were 10.
Yeah.
Yes. 10.
Yes.
One will wake up in the morning playing his music, cooking his food, you know, doing his drugs right there in the hostel.
Yeah.
And you really have to wake up and say, wait a minute. How do I relate with all these people, isn't it?
Yes, there's the issue of being exiled, quote unquote.
I know, we're going to talk about that as well, because we're coming to that as well. Yes.
Yes, so for me, I was lucky,
Yes.
but there were others that were unlucky. Okay, I would say unlucky or lucky, because it depends on how they took it.
That's it.
That got six roommates, 10 roommates. So I was just lucky to have one roommate. It was really like a sister to me.
That's it.
We grew to be sisters to each other. Even way after we vacated the hostel, we still visited each other too, where we had rented out now.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Ogere, your time now. Were you also a bit lucky, like Rejoice, where you got only one roommate? Could you tell us about your experience? That's the shocker that freshmen are going to face. I mean, from high school, you're probably sleeping in a hall, but in campus, it's not going to be that. No, you have a room, you have roommates, and all of them have their own culture. How was it for you? Could you explain to us?
I'm surprised that you are very lucky, not even lucky. Because I even hear about you are cooking in your hostel.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. So you wake up in the morning, you don't have money, and there's a guy cooking meat over the other side. You know?
You are very lucky. Anyway, just to embark on our side.
That's it.
When we were freshmen, actually adjusting to campus life, every time as you are to wake up in the morning, as you had said, you know, some of the things are personal responsibility, as I always, when you talk about mental health, I do say some of them are personal responsibility as a freshman.
That's it.
For example, when you don't come from that loaded family with the financial muscles, you know, you need to have your financial spending very well. You need to spend like cleverly. So you find you get into campus and you find campus pressure, and campus pressure from a freshman is something that is real. And as I had talked about lifestyle, you had just mentioned something. Someone wakes up and plays his music there.
Yes,
someone
I love music.
has the loaded shopping there.
That's it.
And you are like, what should I do now to catch up with these people? You will end up getting a friend. Someone just wake up and doing his or her drugs there, even though it's not allowed. But at that particular time, you have nowhere to report, and also you can't report such kind of things sometimes. So you will end up hooking up with a friend. And a friend I will also include, you will find in campus, two people are working in two, a group of two. And a group of two is male and female. And you're like, I need to have a friend also. So for this reason, you are going to find a friend. And a friend is the one who is going to influence you in emulating one of the things that he or she does. And for that reason, in the room, you are getting the roommates who are 4, 5, but we in UN, you can't be in a room with 4 people. We were Corona people.
Yes.
The only thing is allowed there, it's 2, not more than 2.
Not more than 2, yeah.
So you will find yourself in a room with 1 or 2. And for that reason, you may find yourself in a room whereby even your roommate, you can't be a friend with your roommate. So most of the time you wake up and go to your friend whom you found maybe in a WhatsApp group. Do you know, as a freshman, you don't find friends only on that day that you report to school. Even in WhatsApp groups that immediately when you pass, you will find WhatsApp group J-Kwato, Nikikun.
Those WhatsApp groups exist?
Kenyatta. Yes, they do work.
Yes.
They do work. So you have a friend from WhatsApp group and you find yourself, you've hooked up in campus, and most of the time we talk of Kuinama.
That's it.
You will watch movie for the whole of, from morning. From morning till noon hours. Not because you don't want food.
No.
Your finances are not enough, can't allow you to afford all the meals.
And go for breakfast.
And go for breakfast. And you find it's a boring lifestyle whereby you have to watch the movie all that period of time for you to combine the meals. The one that you are to take the breakfast together with the lunch. You are taking it at the same time in the evening. You are going for one meal at 3. So sometimes it's a very disappointing life.
That's it, and that's what I wanted to talk about as well. It's a good thing you've gone there. Rejoice, finances in campus. I mean, in high school, we all know you'll be given pocket money. You can squander that pocket money within one day, and you'll be fine. There's food, there's breakfast, there's lunch, there's supper. Everything is given to you. But now, in campus, here you are, where that pocket money you've been given, it's you to manage it. If you misuse it, that's you and you. Can you tell us, what are some of the hacks that you would use yourself, Rejoice, just to manage your finances properly in campus? And fair enough, in that environment where you've been given this freedom, your campus is in town, even within campus there are shops that you can buy anything that you want or wish for. You can go out and use all that money. How did you go through your financial discipline, or were you indisciplined? You can tell us.
I've always been very disciplined, you know. I've always been very disciplined.
Yeah.
But let me take you back a bit and point out that, acknowledge that in terms of finances, there are students who go to campus with just their backpack and their help, nothing from their families. Not because their families do not want to support them, but because they come from extremely poor backgrounds.
That's it.
You know, I mean, there are students who come even without school fees, and they're like, you know what? They go to the you know, students' welfare, and they're like, you know what? I've passed. I've come to school to try my luck. Can I get a scholarship?
Yes.
There are those disparate cases. And by the way, I'm also a politician still at the national level.
That's it.
I'm actually aspiring for Woman Rep Machakos County in 2027.
2027?
Yes.
It's a good thing. I'm going to call you back so we can talk about that.
You know,
Yes.
one of the things I've been raising with legislators at the national level is that we need to introduce a welfare kitty for the comrades. Besides help, you know, help is designed to pay the school fees.
That's it.
But there are students who have help, but they're sleeping hungry. And for those that are not living in school, sometimes they even have their houses closed because they cannot afford that, you know? Now, back to those that now had pocket money. Now, how did I manage my pocket money? Unfortunately or fortunately, because you learn, I also come from a humble background. And so most of the time I was depending on help, my help, which comes every semester. So for me, every time help was deposited on my account, I used to budget. You know, one financial discipline in life, even after you graduate, is to learn how to budget and live within your means, not above your means. You know, I know in campus there's a lot of pressure. There's so many avenues you can spend your money. You know, for example, sometimes I'm big on swimming. I like to swim.
That's it.
But do you go to swimming every weekend? No. No. Sometimes you got to tell your buddies, you know what? Today, sorry, I'm going to library. You know, you don't tell them that your finances are tight.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to library. I have a lot of assignments.
That's the point. That's the point that I want you to. That's the point that I want you to put across properly. At what point are you going to get this confidence to tell them, hey, bro? No, my finances are not okay.
Self-awareness. Do not compare yourself to anyone.
Yes.
Everyone that came from different backgrounds. You know, for my lawyer friends, they would come with a whole sack
of maize. Yeah,
of maize. I was not going to compare myself with them. That's for the person from Mukambani who did not have that
maize.
That maize.
You know, a whole sack of maize. So
that means as I budget for my weekly food, them they had, you know, they were set. They were sorted. So they had extra money. So exactly. So they had extra. My lower friends would come with omena.
I'm telling you, a whole sack. Yeah.
My lower friends would come with omena, and one of the stresses I had in the morning from we had low friends in our hostel, like the whole house, like
that's it.
they used to make omena in the morning and the smell.
Entire aroma would, I know. When you cook omena, every other person knows that you're eating omena.
I loved them, but waking us up with, okay, that was one, but it's okay, me life.
Yeah.
So back to finances. Number one, never compare yourself to anyone.
Ever.
Budget independently. Because if you're gonna live as per someone else's budget, it will be mid-semester and you're completely stuck, you know? You don't know, like you can't even now afford a bread. Ama yo mena ya 10 bob. Ama yo mena ya 10 bob. So have that confidence, self-awareness, know yourself. Like, you know, just know yourself. Like
but that fight, Rejoice, that fight, we know what campus is. You walk out of the gate, you can take chicken, you can take fries, you can take pizza, you can take burger. How do you, the self-awareness, that's what I want you to talk about. And I'll come with you from this break. I just want us to go for a tiny breather because I want you to speak to that. What are these devices that you need to own as a freshman now going to campus, knowing that, look here, mbele nyuma for the next 4 months, I only have 8,000 shillings or 5,000. I don't even know whether 5,000 shillings is enough. I don't know. I don't want to speak to my life in campus. I can't remember how I was budgeting, but is 5,000 enough for 4 months? Once we come back from this break, because that's exactly what I want us to talk about this morning, that you should never compare yourself to any other person in campus. Wewe enda uko, vile ulienda uko, peke yako. Kama una hiyo mahindi, kama una hiyo mena, that's you and you. Once we come back, what are these things that you have to do to make sure that these devices we're talking about here this morning, self-awareness, it doesn't leave you through the 4 years that you step in campus? Once we come back right here on the Morning Drift, the topic is Campus Unfiltered, what freshmen have to learn before it's too late. And remember, just a couple of weeks you've been in school. So we hope that this is a lesson to you once we come back.
Save a Life is a non-profit organization that has taken the front line in transforming lives in the entire country. So far, we have transformed life of over 100,000 people through our programs, which include medical support, youth empowerment, street family program, feeding program, and climate change. Join us today as we transform lives. As we always say, service to humanity is service to God. Save a life, transforming lives.
How easy is it for you to forgive someone who has hurt you? How easy is it? What are some tips, a person can apply to improve their public speaking skills?
We all have personality lazy somewhere around us.
In my mind, whenever I'm invited for a public speaking event, I don't like to put a lot of, accessories or too many colors.
What are the major things to look out when choosing a school for a child?
Another cheesy conversation starter is, men do this a lot. Men look familiar. Have we met before?
Oh.
We met in
Nobody's buying that line again.
No, we don't. We don't buy it anymore.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? For it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
Welcome back to Look Up TV. We are still talking about what freshmen need to learn now that they've gone back or they've officially joined campus. Still here with Rejoice and Ogira. Good, let's talk about it then. I want you to clear your 2 minutes before I cross over to him. You're really talking about a very important point, that you have to be self-aware. But how, Rejoice?
You know, self-awareness is actually a concept in mental health, and even, you know, like life, general life.
Yes.
Like being self-aware in layman's language is literally knowing who you are as a person. Like, I am Rejoice. My family background is this. Like, my mama has this, or my parents has this. Me, I came from a single parent. So, like, clearly having the facts about who you are, and then making your financial decisions based on those facts.
That's it.
That is what self-awareness is. And you know, self-awareness does not mean that you will always be, you know, forever and ever you live based on those facts. Life changes, you know. I mean, you're in campus to make your life better. So you have self-awareness, but also have that hope that, you know, someday it's going to be better. Because, you know, if you compare yourself to others, and never say that you're behind. You're not behind, because we do not choose where to be born, right? But your destiny, it can always be greater no matter your background. So never say that you're behind. No, you are becoming.
That's it.
And that is why you're in that classroom, to become a better person, a better version, you know, of a better version of who you are right now, you know, to make a better family, besides the family that you have right now, you know, to make things better in life for everyone and for yourself.
That's it.
Yeah, so you're not behind, you're becoming.
You're becoming.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic lesson, by the way. As you step into class, don't look to the side. That's what Rejoice is saying. Just focus on what has taken you there. Gere, let's talk about finances. But most importantly, I was speaking to a couple of my friends who told me, bana help ilikuwa inakuja for the next 1 month atuko shuleni. Because unajua inakuja inaingia kwa account. You get it, eh? So can we speak to finances? How were you handling your finances? How were you managing to go through an entire 4 months when you know it's you who has to control what you're spending and getting back in?
Simba, first of all, about my finances, at the first time I got into campus, I realized that in campus there is nothing to do with the humble background or any other background.
Yes.
And for that reason, my finances, I had to manage my finances in a manner that I know very well that when it reaches the end of first semester, I will have to spend what I was given. But remember, we are those people whom they were not given anything from home. And for that reason,
were you in that category?
I was in that category.
Wait, hold on. Like you would come from
As
home?
a man, of course,
yes.
When you come from home, we are the people who just came the way they were, no even parents. You came in campus.
That's it.
And for that reason, I will just talk about choice, the choices in campus that you make.
That's it.
Rejoice here is a politician. He chose the direction of politics. And from the choices that you make, will make you learn on where to get your finances and how to manage your finances.
That's it, from the first day that you walk into campus.
Exactly. And however much you may, for example, some of the people, you may get friends, and some of the friends can help you. Also here, I'm a politician. Immediately I got into campus politics. But campus politics, do you know the perception of the students? You have a lot of money.
Bwana, mnapatiwanga pesa bwana. Kila meeting mnaenda mnapatiwa pesa. Saa zingine mnaenda mnakaa meeting hamfai kukaa, pesa inaingia.
Don't pass through an easy life.
As we used to know, every time you used to go for meetings, allowance.
So remember, even that person who has a lot of money than you will just think that, Robert, you have a lot of money, you are a politician.
Yes.
And you will be called in so many political forums. And in those forums, I will just better say that in those forums, you will have to get something.
Yes.
Because you've gone there with the different ideologies that you will have to sell to people. Of course, through that, me, I will just say, through political forums, I used to get some finances there to make me earn a living back in campus.
That's it.
And for that reason, most of the time, you could not find me in movies. I'm not a fan of movies, of course. You'll find me, I've gone to Dean of Students, I've gone to my chairman, a departmental chair. So we used to do a lot of things.
That's it.
And for that reason, I got a wide, I used to talk to so many people. Sometimes you can go at the eatery and you will find a friend to buy for you.
That's it.
Some of the meals.
That's it.
And for that reason, I could also understand some other students, because as a comrade and a politician in campus, you will find so many people who will come to you. Robert, for example, less fortunate students who they came in campus, they never had fee. They just came with the help form that they will receive help, yet the help that they are waiting for, they have not yet received. But do you know the shocker is what? You find a person in campus and then he or she forgets the background. The first semester help gets in and then he or she changes the dressing mode, dressing style. She has a kitenge. That lady won't wear that kitenge again.
Ever.
When she gets the help money.
Yes.
And for boys, they had these funny clothes from home. The help money, first thing, the dressing. You will find a boy will go for Air Max 90.
Sawa.
Na alikuja na sandals.
Within
a week. Don't think help money is a lot of money.
It's not.
It's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Already when you spend around 3,000 in a pair of shoe, you will remain with something less, and you also need some clothing. So for that reason, you will end up suffering within the whole of the semester. And for that reason, lazima uiname.
That's it.
Na student kiti yenye tulikuwa tunaongelea, we were very lucky in UN. Sometimes, comrades, they love each other. In campus, we came up with a slogan whereby, don't leave a comrade to go to suffer, but you have something that you can help. And for that reason, we could not see a friend suffering just because of meal. Meal is a basic need. And for that reason, we could help each other. And we came up with such kind of thing as student kitty, whereby you will just table your problem and then you get sorted when it comes to meal.
That's it.
And for that reason, in campus, when it comes to meal, we never suffered back in UN.
That's it.
Exactly.
So are you saying that you have to be street smart from the very first day that you join campus? Don't just keep to yourself.
Yeah, the first day when you join campus,
yes,
you must be street smart, but choose whatever you are street smart in. For example, when you choose, pressure is what makes us to act this way.
Yes.
I will just deviate a little bit. When you live within your means, and when you are strictly live the way you came from home,
yes,
you will go back home the same way you came from home. You have to choose whatever you are spending your time in. For example, those people who engaged with the thing, we have online businesses. Some of it's a scam at the same time. Some of the people excel in it. Some of the people, immediately the time he or she gets in campus, where some of the people goes to politics, some of the people go to online marketing, some of the people decide to focus in education, and education is a long-term thing. You have to wait for the fruits to reap. For that reason, you will have to suffer at that period of time. But remember, you came from home with nothing. So you have to look something that, an avenue that can bring something that will support you by that period of time.
Within that period
that period of time.
Don't just sit and say, I'm just here to study, isn't it?
Exactly, and for that reason, you will find when you go to campus that you want to sit here and study, immediately after graduation, again you will board the vehicle that you had came with before the 4 years elapsed, to go back home, and you will find that you just got the mind that you got in campus with is the mind that you got back home with. So you have to find something else to do.
Pretty much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to move into another area, and I would like to join these 2 points because they're one and the same thing. Dating culture and relationship pressure, and sexual safety and consent in campus. I know, you guys know, there's this slogan where older students anticipate the new students who are coming from campus to join school, both male and female, because there's it's a thinking that goes there. They're a bit easy, number one, to convince, and number two, to get into relationships, because they also kind of expect that this will be the place for them to have that relationship and also grow in terms of their sexual, habits. I will say that. Rejoice, I don't know from what point you're going to attack this subject, but I would like to sit back and listen to you. For any freshman who's already joined campus or is about to join campus this year, how are they supposed to look at these two? Relationships in campus and sexual safety and consent while you join campus.
For that question, first of all, allow me to take you back that from my experience, I thank the high school that I was in, that is Limuru Girls,
yes,
because they started exposing us, to these lessons about, sex, consent, protecting yourself, the whole sexual education.
Yes.
Right from high school.
It was out of the curriculum. Like they would take their time to teach you this.
Yes.
But you would be lucky, Rejoice. I would never thought about that when I was in high school.
That is, I said, I thank my high school, Limuru Girls, and the principal then, Madam Margaret.
That's it.
She took it upon herself because, by the time you're in high school, anything can happen, right? People get, we have teen pregnancies. And therefore, the sex talk cannot be a taboo where there's teen pregnancies, right, from high school.
That's it.
But now to start get to campus, now without having these talks from their former high schools or their homes, because some parents nowadays do it. Now, what advice could I give to them? Number one, sexual talk is not a taboo. It is a way of life. Like the way we talk about eating, eating food is the same way we are supposed to talk about, we have to have a sexual talk. And one of the departments that first-year students are supposed to be familiar with, besides all the other academic departments, is the guidance and counseling departments. Because I understand, like in Maseno University, we always advocate for this, for talks to first years, sexual health talks, mental health talks, all these social talks done from the guidance and counseling department. And so as a first year, it is up to you to be proactive, to know, besides academics, what other activities are ongoing in the school. Because visit these departments, you'll find a lot of talks, even they source people from outside, to come and talk about these things, sexual education, about consent, like what is sexual harassment. Like back in Maseno, we had a whole campaign against sexual harassment of students from staff, because there's, by the way, speaking of sexual talk, there's one from staff, the lecturers, the school workers,
yes.
Yes. And then also there's now sexual relationships between the students themselves.
That's it.
So we did a whole campaign against sexual harassment, teaching people what is sexual harassment, even just patting my shoulders without my consent.
That's sexual harassment, isn't it?
That's harassment.
Yes.
The kind of words that you suggest, to me, when you're using sexual words in a public place like an office, that is sexual harassment. It goes beyond physical, you know, to even psychological, to even mental, you know. So first years, even if you're not lucky to have had those sexual talks, right now, information is everywhere, right? Take your time sometimes. Instead of watching that, you know, movie, watch some podcasts on sexual education, you know. Just do not take naivety, you know, do not be ignorant, do not overlook these things. They can help you, because, you know, that is where you hear like people speaking about, you know, sex for grades, you know, like a lecturer, you know, sexually harassing our students. Because let me tell you, the first years are not only prey to their fellow students, they also prey to the campus staff, including the lecturers.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you know, some of these people that are supposed to grow these students, they end up hunting them sexually, you know, threatening them. Like, you have a missing mark. Now, and a lecturer wants you, you know, is not, okay, shows interest in you sexually for you to get your missing marks. It happens, especially in public universities. So, first years, do not be naive. Do not fear anyone. You're there because you deserve to be there.
That's it.
No, first of all, also, knowledge is power. I always say that, you know. Knowledge erases all the ignorance that can occur. So know your rights first. Know the right channels to always, you know, follow in case of anything. Because one of the reasons that first years fall into these sexual traps, you know, is because they have no information of how to counter problems when they occur. For example, I mean, you're late for class, or you're sick, you did not attend classes. Is that an avenue for anyone to take advantage of, for you to, you know, escape that? No. Know your rights. If you have missing marks, what is the right channel to follow, you know? If you're facing this problem, what is the right channel to follow? Including if you do not have school fees, what is the right channel to follow, you know? So that you don't fall prey of those, the evil people that exist around there.
That's it.
Yes.
So just take 2 minutes to answer this before I cross over to him. Campus relationships, they are an inevitable conversation. I mean, your social life in campus, one way or another, even if you don't want it, you might find yourself in that place. Could you talk to it? Are they important? If you had your sister right now and she's joining campus tomorrow and she comes and asks you, must I get a campus boyfriend? What would you be your answer?
My
Out
sister.
of your experience, yes.
A yes or no answer.
Yes.
I would tell her no.
Are you sure, Rejoice?
Yes.
Is it, does those relationships grow you as a person as well? I like to think so. I don't know.
First year you're too young. As you said, some of them do not even have IDs.
Some of them have boyfriends from high school.
But you know, okay, recently I was attending a mentorship for teenagers in Machakos County as one of the mentors. And one of the resource person that had just come said that, you know, in high school, you get a different kind of boyfriend.
Yes.
And most likely they do not graduate to campus. Those relationships end in?
They end in high school.
High school.
Yes.
In campus as well, fine. You get a campus boyfriend, maybe, at that level. But chances of them graduating to the next life, well, there's some that are lucky, like I know some that I've mentioned even in the limelight, but they're not as many, right?
Yes.
At the corporate level, you get a different, you know, life keeps on, you know, graduating. But for me as first I would say no. First of all, learn, establish yourself, grow yourself, just do some grow up, you know, build yourself as a person, and then, yeah, for me, that is my advice, my honest advice.
Pretty much. Okay, I'm going to start with the same question. I mean, your young brother, yes, comes to you and tells you, hey, bro, nimemaliza semi ya kwanza and I have a girlfriend. What would you advise him? And what is your true feeling about dating in campus and sexual consent in campus? Now I want you to speak like a man.
A first year boy is the person who has so many disappointment life in campus.
Is it true?
For my brother,
yes,
I will tell my brother, no, kindly wait and you know, take your time. and scrutinize the whole situation of dating.
What about, I've ever been given this advice, and I don't know that I was misled. Okay, I'm still on you. I was told, and I don't want to reveal who told me that, I was told, you go and try dating those women. Some of them will break you, some of them will make you overspend your money, some of them will make you cry, some of them will leave you because indeed you're too young, and that will teach you on the true ethics, on the true principles of dating and relationships.
So I was coming to that as I was jotting my points.
Yes.
So, you know, as a fresher, I'm a first year boy. First of all, if you decide to date in campus, date those ladies, the only thing that you will come out with is the heartbreak. You will be full of heartbreak.
That's true.
Because of one. You know, you can't, a junior employee can't compare himself with a CEO of the company.
And that's 100% true, isn't it?
And for that reason, the sophomores, the juniors are these first years.
That's it.
When it comes to boy child.
Yes.
But we have the CEOs who are the 4th years, 3rd years, not even 2nd year. And there's no way, there's no lady in this world who will choose a person whom they are in the same category with and leave a CEO who is a 4th year and the 3rd year.
That's actually true.
And for that reason, also the CEOs, 4th years and the 3rd years, I would say some of them take advantage of this. They always call first years ladies Bell.
Yeah.
Bell imekuja.
That's what I want. And it's a true thing. We should talk about that because that's the word I've been looking for. It's Bell mpya imeingia.
Bell mpya
Yes,
imeingia.
that's a word that freshmen should know, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yes.
Na Bell mpya imeingia always refer to these first years ladies.
Yes.
And they will see this one today, and in that, you know, in high school, for example, in high school, these ladies, freshers, they used to engage into a relationship, but not a genuine relationship.
That's true.
They want to give this one a try. And for that reason, those people, they have that manpower to convince these ladies very easily, and they will end up in a trap. And after they have messed, you, a first year, you decided to love this lady. This lady has gone on and loved a 4th year or a 3rd year.
Yes.
And you will end up with that, let me say, emotional damage because you are really in love. And now that the lady has not chosen you, the lady has chosen a 4th year. And for that reason, you will end up with the heartbreak. That's one. And for that reason, we'll hate that lady for all of your life. That's why I told you that I will tell my brother to take time and scrutinize the situation.
That's it. Wait until you become a CEO.
wait, not probably that one, but have to look exactly, is it the right time for me? It can not be the right time for you, because let me tell you, the finances that we were talking about, a first year doesn't have any finance, but a CEO has the finances.
That's it.
To do everything here. They will go with the lady at the eateries and he will offer everything that the lady needs. But you, with your finances that you have, you can't offer everything. The lady will pay for herself and you will pay for yourself. And for that reason, the lady will not choose you still, because the lady also likes when she doesn't spend her money.
That's it.
And a lady's money, you always know that lady's money is for her herself, not for this other gender. Few female gender can support you financially, for example, when it comes to financial support, but not the other way around. And for that reason, I will tell a fresher who is a boy child like me, take time.
Take time.
And even if there is any pressure, when you come to campus, you will find people working in 2-2-2. When you come from class as first years, you are equal. But after, for example, let me just be sincere, it always happened during evening hours. After all people have completed their lessons, you will now find there's two people as a fourth year, third year, second year with a first year. They are just making stories. And you will find these people are booking each and every lady from these juniors. And within no time, that is the time that heartbreaks are more within the campus.
Yes.
During the first semester, when the freshers are inside that school, that's what brings the suicide cases. First year, more heartbreaks.
That's it.
And we will find a lady will get back and choose that first year whom she disregarded during that time. Because a fourth year is going. There is no day he will be coming back in campus to spend time with you. So he gets you and he takes advantage of you and he goes.
That's it.
That's the thing.
So I was told to ask you personal questions at this point, and I don't know whether you guys will be ready to reveal.
We had something on sexual
Yes,
thing.
that's it.
Now, the question was a yes or no, but we cannot ignore that there are people, there are first years who are engaging in sex, right? Right from first year, even before first year.
Even before first year,
right?
Yes.
And so my advice is now the real talk, like, remember there are STIs and STDs, so always visit, the schools are very open to that, to helping those that are in sexual engagements, relationships, like always about contraception, protection and all those, from STIs and STDs. That is very important. You can never, please do not choose ignorance, because there's a whole crisis about it.
That's it.
And also now, those that are in relationships, gender-based violence, GBV, happens even in higher institutions of learning, in campus.
That's it.
You find a first year in class has been beaten by a boyfriend, or the other way around, her boyfriend has been beaten by
by the girlfriend.
by the girlfriend.
That's it. Yeah.
So I do tell that the young people that are in relationships, if it gets to physical abuse, please leave. Leave, because we have seen cases where it has gotten to worse. Like, you've been beaten today.
Yes.
Do not say that this boy is going to become an angel, he will change, or this girl will change. Please, leave before we start typing RIP.
I know.
So, do not force relationships in campus or even in life. Do not force them. If they're toxic, do not stay in toxicity. Always leave and find a better one.
Pretty
because
much.
we want you alive at, the end of 4 years.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, you have 45 seconds.
Simba, I just forgot to tell you.
Yes.
You had mentioned Rejoice had mentioned something in campus about counseling groups and clubs. The first thing that drove me away from joining, I had joined before. When a first year gets into campus, he or she will join these clubs, counseling clubs, the so-called counseling clubs and church clubs. But you will find these church clubs and counseling clubs has booked these first years also engaging them. You will find this one is mine, this one is mine. I decided to ask myself, is this the same thing that this thing should serve, the purpose? And that thing, I just disliked it. And for that reason, when a first year joins campus, even these clubs, these things happens inside here.
So they need to open their eyes to that as well.
Exactly.
Also know that even within this club that are doing in campus, that can actually be going there, isn't it?
That's it.
Yes.
We're speaking about the official guidance and counseling department for the school.
Oh, I see that
Each
now.
university is supposed, legally, by the Ministry of Education, is supposed to have a working and functional guidance and counseling. And it is not a privilege to you as a first year. Your parent and the government has paid this department to ensure your well-being is taken care of.
That's it.
So first years, anytime you need, and these are professionals, and they can never share your information. In fact, when you visit a guidance and counseling office, you sign a consent form that he or she will not share your information. So please, every university, there's a guidance and counseling department where you're supposed to be professionally helped.
That's it.
Yes.
Pretty much. Here's the thing. We only have 1 minute left. I'm going to give you 30 seconds each, because I thought we would get into the point where we're talking about academic realities and lectures. Here's the thing. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Ogere, going through the lectures and making sure that you've actually passed in campus, what is it that you got to do? 30 seconds.
Exactly, making sure that you passed in your lectures modules.
Yes.
Actually, you have to be very serious when it comes to bookwork. And when it comes to bookwork, always go to class in time, do your revision well, and when you get back to hostels,
yes,
kindly read, and when it comes to your exams, you'll just pass plainly without using ChatGPT.
That's it. All right, Rejoice. That question as well, is it fashionable to be that student who's always not to be studying really hard in campus? That there's some peer pressure to that. Is it fashionable? Can we address that? Is it fashionable to be that campus student who's well known for kusoma unamwachia tu? Is it fashionable? 30 seconds.
Actually, I was that kind of a student.
Oh yeah.
A bookwormer, yes. Because I took my education very serious, and I definitely got a good grades. Huh?
That's it.
So if you are in that situation as a first year, you're on the right trajectory.
That's it.
Your big sister Rejoice tells you you're on the right trajectory.
Yes.
And I mean, education is everything. And if you think education is expensive, then try ignorance. You know, try the diverting. You'll find something else. And as I finish, I want to tell the first years, in every situation, academically, socially, there's a senior comrade, Honorable Babu Owino. We call him the senior comrade, because once a comrade, always a comrade. He always reminds us as the younger leaders that in everything, always be better, do not be bitter. So always try to thrive instead of surviving, and to be better and good in everything. You know, like today is not like tomorrow. Always compete against yourself, not with your peers. What matters is, was the person that I was yesterday better today? That is what matters.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oof. You know, that's 2 hours done in this conversation. I thought we would talk about other issues. We only left one, which is drug and alcohol abuse. I mean, we don't have to delve into that. If you step in campus and start on alcohol, that's it. Your story is done and dusted. Let nobody tell you any other thing. That I can tell you from a personal experience. All right? So this morning, we hoped you've taken out your pens and papers. Na kama ulipatiwa pocket money and you're thinking of going out this Friday, please, do not. Just like Rejoice is telling you, kuna skutafika hiyo mkate, you won't even buy it. You won't even buy it. You might think you have that 10,000 shillings in your pocket. Please keep it. 4 months is a long period. All that we can say is we wish you the very best as you begin your year as freshmen. I mean, 4 years is just a tiny period. You're going to realize that all of a sudden you're in 4th year and you're graduating, looking for the next thing to do. Rejoice. Ogere, thank you very much for coming. I'll call you back again, especially you. We're going to talk about your candidature in 2027. All right? I'll call you back again. Take them back online to the time that you joined us this morning at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. For those who've written to us and I was not able to actually go back to your messages, I promise you I will take it offline and we shall take it from there as well. Good morning and goodbye. See you tomorrow for another conversation.